Coping with a malignant narcissist mother is one of the most challenging and emotionally exhausting experiences anyone can endure. A mother is traditionally seen as a source of love, support, and comfort, but when that role is filled by someone with malignant narcissism, the relationship becomes toxic and damaging. A malignant narcissist is not only self-centered, but also manipulative and cruel. They thrive on belittling others to maintain control. Dealing with this kind of behavior from the very person who should nurture you is incredibly painful, but there are ways to cope without losing yourself in the process. The first thing to acknowledge is that you're not going to change your mother's behavior. Malignant narcissists rarely, if ever, recognize their faults. They believe they are entitled to act the way they do. This doesn't mean you're powerless. It means your focus should be on protecting yourself and finding ways to cope with the emotional toll. Accepting that your mother is unlikely to change allows you to shift your energy away from trying to fix the relationship and instead prioritize your mental and emotional health. Setting boundaries is one of the most effective ways to cope. Narcissistic mothers often see their children as extensions of themselves, not as independent people with their own needs or desires. They will push, manipulate, and guilt-trip to maintain control over your life. By setting firm boundaries, you communicate that their behavior is not acceptable. This may provoke anger or manipulation from your mother, but holding your ground is essential. For example, if your mother constantly criticizes or undermines you, it's okay to step away from the conversation or limit your interactions. You have the right to decide what behavior you will and won't tolerate. Emotional distance is also critical. A malignant narcissist will use your emotions against you, often trying to provoke guilt, fear, or insecurity. They know exactly how to push your buttons because they've spent years learning your vulnerabilities. It's crucial to build emotional resilience and detach from the need for their approval. You don't need your mother's validation to feel worthy or loved. Learning to self-soothe and find comfort in your own identity is one of the most empowering ways to protect yourself from the emotional abuse. When you start to detach emotionally, your mother may escalate her tactics, but it's important to stay firm. Your emotional well-being must come first. Narcissistic mothers often thrive on control and chaos, keeping their children off balance and doubting themselves. One of their most insidious tools is gaslighting. This involves making you question your perception of reality, leaving you feeling confused and powerless. Recognizing when you're being gaslit is a crucial step in breaking free from their manipulation. If you find yourself constantly doubting your memories or your feelings, take a step back and remind yourself of the truth. Documenting specific instances of manipulation can help you feel more grounded and less vulnerable to their psychological games. Another challenge in coping with a malignant narcissist mother is dealing with the guilt that often accompanies trying to pull away. Narcissists are experts at making their children feel responsible for their happiness. They'll use guilt as a tool to keep you tethered. If you try to set boundaries or distance yourself, they may accuse you of being ungrateful, selfish, or abandoning them. It's essential to remind yourself that you are not responsible for your mother's emotions. Her happiness or dissatisfaction with life is not something you can control. Every person is responsible for their own well-being, and this includes your mother. Letting go of that guilt is difficult, but it's necessary for your emotional freedom. It's also important to find a support system outside of your toxic family dynamic. A narcissistic mother can isolate you from friends and family, making you feel like you have no one else to turn to. Rebuilding connections with trusted individuals is crucial for your emotional health. Whether it's through therapy, support groups, or close friends, having someone to talk to who understands and validates your feelings can be incredibly healing. You are not alone in this experience, and hearing that others have gone through similar struggles can be a powerful reminder that you deserve better than the treatment you've received. Another coping mechanism that's vital when dealing with a malignant narcissist mother is self-care. Living in a constant state of emotional tension can take a toll on both your mental and physical health. It's essential to prioritize time for yourself. Whether that means engaging in hobbies, practicing mindfulness, exercising, or simply taking moments of solitude, these acts of self-care remind you that your well-being matters. Malignant narcissists try to consume your emotional energy, So finding ways to recharge is crucial in maintaining your strength. In some cases, it may be necessary to limit contact with your mother or even go no contact. This is not an easy decision, and it often comes with a great deal of emotional conflict. However, when the relationship is causing more harm than good, it's okay to step away. Limiting or cutting contact doesn't mean you don't love your mother, but rather that you love yourself enough to prioritize your mental health. Some people may not understand this decision, but only you know the toll the relationship is taking on you. If distance is what you need to heal, then that choice is valid. It's also important to grieve the relationship you wish you could have had with your mother. Acknowledging that she will never be the nurturing, supportive figure you needed can be heartbreaking, but it's part of the healing process. You may have spent years hoping she would change or that things would improve, but accepting the reality of who she is frees you from those unrealistic expectations. Grieving that loss doesn't mean giving up. It means making room for new, healthier relationships in your life. Dealing with a malignant narcissist mother also means reclaiming your sense of self. Narcissistic mothers often project their insecurities and issues onto their children, leaving them with a warped sense of identity. You may have grown up believing you were inadequate, unlovable, or a disappointment. These are false narratives that your mother created to keep control over you. Rebuilding your self-esteem is a crucial step in breaking free from her manipulation. It's not an easy process, but with time and support, you can learn to see yourself through your own eyes, not through the distorted lens your mother imposed on you. Finally, remember that healing from the damage caused by a malignant narcissist mother is a journey, not a destination. There will be setbacks and difficult emotions, but the important thing is that you are taking steps to protect yourself and prioritize your well-being. You deserve to live a life free from emotional manipulation and abuse. By learning to cope with your mother's behavior and setting firm boundaries, you are reclaiming your power. It's not easy, but with patience, resilience, and support, you can heal from the wounds inflicted by your mother and build a future where you are in control of your own happiness.